And now, Introduce Everything proudly presents Elevenorella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named Elevenorella. Elevenorella had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. All 6 of them made fun of Elevenorella and made her do all the chores. Elevenor, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, clean out the pantry, do it all, said Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina, all together. One day, the king of Elevenville's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Elevenville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Unicopling. But Elevenorella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Ella. No way, Ella, you're wrong. He's going to marry me, said Lola. Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, said Asha. Vada said, all 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, said Elsa. All 4 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, Nina, the youngest stepsister, said. All 5 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Elevenorella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Unicopling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks her Elevenorella what's wrong by saying, There, Elevenorella, why are you crying, my dear? In which Elevenorella responds, I have lots of chores to do, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Unicopling. Elevenorella's fairy godmother can make her wish come true by saying, I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you. And so she waves her magic wand to clean up all the chores for Elevenorella. But she's not done yet, she said. Elevenorella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Elevenorella has 11 pumpkins and 22 mice. Elevenorella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 11 pumpkins into a handsome coach, 22 mice into horses, and then Elevenor's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. Elevenorella said, I've never seen such a double wonderful gown. You get a load of my glass slippers and climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, have fun, Elevenorella, my dear, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. It gives her a clock to tell her what time it is, and so Elevenorella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Elevenville says, Good evening, all. My son, Prince Unicopling, was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Unicopling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, Elevenorella arrives at the ball just in time. Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina say, He's walking towards me altogether, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Elevenorella. May I have this dance? Prince Unicopling then asks, to which Elevenorella responds, I would be delighted. Prince Unicopling and Elevenorella dance happily together. But later, as Elevenorella checks her clock, and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Unicopling was so worried and sad that he might never see Elevenorella again. The king of Elevenville comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find Leverell, my dear daughter-in-law, and so the king of Elevenville and Prince Unicuddling began their journey all around the neighborhood to try to find Elevenorella and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where Elevenorella, Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, and Elsa and Nina all together live. But instead of Elevenorella, they find Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. Prince Unicuddling then says, "Ladies, my father, the king of Elevenville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Ella is first, but her foot is too big. Lola is next, but her foot is too small. "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, the king of Elevenville and Prince Unicuddling noticed Elevenorel's sweet singing. She heard excitedly, overjoyed, "Prince Unicuddling and your majesty, is that you guys?" The king of Unicuddling says, "My dear daughter-in-law, we found you. Will you marry Prince Unicuddling?" To which Elevenorella hollered more overjoyed, "Yes!" And so, Elevenorella, the king of Unicuddlingham, and Prince Unicuddling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, interest doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and introduce everything. And I've been debating on making the sequels a bit of tradition. So if you want to see maybe someday, or 1102, 11 wishes come true, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and introduce everything, and buy our merchandise at introduceeverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 44ella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 44ella. 44ella had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Farah, Ophelia, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Olivia, Ursula, and Reina. All of them constantly made fun of 44ella and made her do all the chores. 44 wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said the ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters all together. One day, the king of Quadra-Quadra-Gin Toplingham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Quadra-Quadra-Gin Toplingham, his royal, kind, wise, bold majesty is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quadra-Quadra-Gin Topling. Can I come?" asked 44ella. But she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Farah, the oldest stepsister, but her younger sisters disagree. They even tear 44ella's best party dress. Later, 44ella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quadra-Quadra-Gin Topling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comes with 44ella. There, now my dear 44ella," she said, "I'll fix everything for you. No one will know it's you." She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 44ella's chores are done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "44ella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice." Luckily, 44ella has 44 pumpkins and 88 mice. 44ella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 44 onions into a handsome coach, the 88 mice into horses, and fixes 44ella's now torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 44ella said, I've never seen such a quadra-tastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 44ella then inclined into the coach. 44ella's fairy godmother said, well, 44ella, my dear, you can't. But have fun. But I will warn you, return home before midnight, where the spell will be broken and everything will change back to normal. And give her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 44ella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king at Quadra says, good evening, everyone. Prince Quadra was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? To which Prince Quadra responds, yes, father. Suddenly, 44ella arrived at the ball just in time. He's walking towards me, said Farah, Olivia, Ophelia, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Olivia, Ursula, and Reina all together. But Prince Quadra is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 44ella. May I have this dance? He then says, in which 44ella says, I was delighted. And so, 44ella and Prince Quadra dance happily together. But later, 44ella checks her clock and it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Quadra was really worried that he might never see 44ella again. The king of Quadra comforted by saying, There, no, son. I think we'll be able to find 44ella, my dear daughter-in-law. And so, the king of Quadra and Prince Quadra began their journey all around Quadra to find 44ella, who captured Prince Quadra heart and brought the glass slippers she lost with them. By the time they arrived, Prince Quadra knocks on the door of the house where 44ella and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 44ella, they find Farah to Reina. He then says, ladies, my father, the king of Quadra and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these glass slippers? And Farah is first, but her foot is too big. Ophelia's next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Quadra and Prince Quadra noticed 44ella's sweet singing. Your Majesty and Prince Quadra is that you guys? She heard excitedly. My dear daughter-in-law, 44ella, we found you! And the glass slippers fit, and 44ella, the king of Quadra and Prince Quadra lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew Stewards. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Knows Everything, and buy our merchandise at andrewknowseverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents 77erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named 77erella. 77erella had 12 ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters named Sabrina, Estrella, Veronica, Emma, Natalia, Tasha, Yelena, Sophia, Ella, Valeria, Eleonora, and Nina. 12 of them constantly made fun of 77erella and always made her do all the chores. 77, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said the 12 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters all together. And then one day, the king of 77ville's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, that king of 77ville is going to roll a ball and loss with his son, Prince Septa Gin Toppling. Sabrina, Estrella, Veronica, Emma, Natalia, Tasha, Yelena, Sophia, Ella, Valeria, Eleonora, and Nina ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argue over who Prince Septa Gin Toppling fallen in true love with. Later, 77erella is distraught, upset, and sad about not going to the ball. Whatever will I do? She whimpers. Suddenly, 77erella's fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There, now, 77erella, I can turn you into a princess with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you, she said. 77erella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand to do all the chores for 77erella, turn her into a princess's attire, and even a pair of glass slippers appear on her feet. 77erella says, I've never seen such a gin-tastic gown, and I love my new glass slippers. But how am I going to get to the ball? Fortunately, 77erella's fairy godmother turned 77 pumpkins and 150 mice into a handsome coach drawn by horses. 77erella's says, Oh, fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? Says 77erella. Her fairy godmother says, Well, you can't. But had fun, 77erella. But I will warn you to return home before midnight. That's when the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And so, 77erella accepts the warning. At the ball, the wise and kind king of 77ville asks, Wondering who's your true love? Prince Septa Gin Toppling, in which Prince Septa Gin Toppling responds, Yes, father. 77erella arrives at the ball just in time. Prince Septa sees who is his true love. Walks straight towards her. He's walking towards me, said Sabrina, Estrella, Veronica, Natalia, Emma, Tasha, Yelena, Sophia, Ella, Valeria, Eleanor, and Nina all together, but Prince Septa Gin Toppling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 77erella. He then says, You must be my true love, 77erella. May I please have this dance? Yes, said 77erella, overjoyed. And so, 77erella and Prince Septa Gin Toppling dance. How sing 77erella as they dance, while the wise and kind King 77erella watches them happily. Come on, 77erella, let's dance together. We'll be best friends forever. Who else could it be when both of us are in 77 heaven? Come on, Prince Septa Gin Toppling, let's dance together. We'll be best friends forever. were both in 77 heaven. But soon, 77-year-old realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. The next day, the king of 77ville and Prince Septuagint traveled all around the neighborhood, 77ville, to find 77-year-old who captured Prince Septuagint's heart and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. If they can find Prince Septuagint's true love, that they can get married. By the time they arrive, they knock on the door of the home where 77-year-old and her ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 77-year-old, they find her ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters: Sabrina, Estrella, Veronica, Emma, Natalia, Tasha, Yadina, Sofia, Ella, Valeria, Eleanor, and Nina. Prince Septuagint then says, "Ladies, my father, the king of 77ville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this slipper? Sabrina, the oldest stepsister, is first, but her foot is too big. Estrella is next, but her foot is too small." "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. The rest did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Just then, 77-year-old arrives. She looks rather familiar. She then tries the glass slipper on and transforms back into a princess. And the king of 77ville and Prince Septuagint live happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and it everything. And I've also been debating on completing a number of Cinderella parodies in the 70s of a tradition. Maybe I could do it a daily tradition that the numbers that start with the number 7. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and everything. Buy our merchandise at nerdseverything.com. Andrews Doers, take care. Bye.